Good afternoon. This here is Slough, on the Great Western Railway. Today I intend to take a short day trip to Oxford, but I decided to stop in Slough to do a little detour. The GWR built a short extension from here going all the way to Windsor and Eton Central, 2 miles long. It was built for Queen Victoria's convenience, and it's not particularly popular. This is the only train running on it. Which also means that now I have to wait for it to come back for me to go there. It runs every 15 minutes, so it's not too bad. Now, if you guessed that this detour consists of me going to Windsor Castle, you are correct. Now this is what you call yourself a fortification. The original castle was built in the 11th century by William the Conqueror. No surprises there, I suppose. It has been expanded and rebuilt during its lifetime, serving as the official residence for various kings and queens of England. The Thames also runs nearby. Yes, that big thing going through London. And here is the part where I admit I made an error in planning. I didn't check when the castle was open, and to my amazement, it was closed on a Tuesday. It's also closed on a Wednesday. So I had to give up the shoot and just do this little part teaser, I suppose. But hey, I'll always need another reason to visit London. On that terrible disappointment, I am going to take the train back to Slough, to wait for the other one that will take me to Oxford. Interestingly enough, the Great Western Railway that goes all the way to Bristol is one of England's most modern one, capable of going up to 200 kilometers per hour. That is close to Schnellfahrstrecke speed. The trains usually running on this line are Class 800 Hitachi dual traction, as in they either take the power from the overhead wires or use diesel traction. So you can imagine my disappointment when I arrived at Oxford Station. Yes, I know it's a branch line from the GWR, but I've seen train stations in Romania better maintained than this. My first impression going through the city was not that good. I'm officially blaming Harry Potter movies and my own imagination for how I imagined Oxford would look like. It doesn't at the beginning. But it has a castle. It was built during the Norman times and played a prominent role in the English Civil War, though it is mostly renowned as being a prison. Now, the city itself is not bad by any means, but the first steps of it were about as same as going through the first steps of Göppingen. Really nothing worth mentioning. And if you think that my voice sounds different, it's because I am recording in different days. Now, a bit of history. Oxford itself started as a crossing over the River Thames. That is that big thing that is going through London. From there, it evolved into an important military frontier town between the kingdoms of Mercia and Wessex, before drawing the ire of the Danes. The Danes raided it, like pretty much all the English settlements during that time period, which led to Aethelred the Unready deciding in 1002 that, hey, it's a good idea to commit the St. Brice's Day massacre against the now peaceful Danes. That prompted Denmark's invasion of England in 1003 and the sacking of Oxford in 1004. Moral of the story, do not upset the Danes. Sverrin's son Knut would actually conquer pretty much all of England. A conquering by the Normans later, it had a mostly peaceful history, a notable exception being that it served as the capital of the Royalists during the English Civil War. Also south of it you find the Morris factory, which built the marina. With that out of the way, let's turn our attention to the University of Oxford. I can't specifically talk about teaching or anything related to that matter, but there are a few interesting bits of history I managed to dig up. Oxford University was founded somewhere between 11 to 1200s. Various sources and various accounts differ on the exact date, thus making it one of the oldest universities in England. In 1209, students got in a bit of a row with Oxford townsfolk, which led to some academics to flee to Cambridge. They formed the University of Cambridge. I have to interrupt myself to mention that this is Radcliffe Camera, an iconic 18th century Palladian-style library, and one of the most beautiful buildings you can find in Oxford, which sits right next to the Bodleian Library, the UK's second largest library, slightly smaller than the one in London. It was founded in 1602 by Sir Thomas Bodley, that's where it's got the name from, housing an astonishing 13 million books. I don't have time to read all of them. It also served as a fantastic set piece for the Harry Potter movies. one of which was, well, you guessed it, the Hogwarts Library. The library courtyard also houses a rather interesting statue. It was sculpted by Hubert Le Sueur in the likeness of William Herbert, the 3rd Earl of Pembroke, and the founder of Pembroke College. He also served as Chancellor for the Oxford University, and more importantly as a Lord Chamberlain, though I am not well versed in what a Lord Chamberlain's actually supposed to do. The title does sound important. One other thing I have to note, during this time I was filming, most of the colleges were closed, so I couldn't really get inside shots of them. I can only imagine how one would look like. I would say something out of a Harry Potter movie. Such an important university had its fair list of alumni, including Bill Clinton, Rowan Atkinson, yes, Mr. Bean himself, J.R.R. Tolkien, needs no introduction, and the current, at the time of editing, Prime Minister of Great Britain, Rishi Sunak. Though by the time you'll probably watch this, there'll be another Prime Minister. One last tidbit about Oxford. In 1333, some dissatisfied scholars tried to form a new university at Stamford in Lincolnshire, but they were blocked by both Oxford and Cambridge petitioning King Edward III, leading to this weird duopoly Oxford and Cambridge shared up until the 1820s as being the only universities in England. My final thoughts about Oxford? Starts rather disappointing, but it ends up being alright. I guess all that is left now is for me to go and try to apply for one of these universities to get nice interior shots of it. Wish me luck. I hope you all enjoyed this windy day trip into Oxford. If you travel more than one person, I would suggest you rent a car. A ticket from Paddington to Oxford and back cost me about £60. I shudder to think what would cost me to go to Cambridge. Until next time.